because it was in the Science Museum, and I usually in that cinema watch documentaries, but when I did go and see this, I thought it was a true story. Anyone who's watched this will know how absolutely ridiculous that is. But it wasn't till nearing like a good chunk of the film had passed, and I was thinking, nah, this can't be true. And yeah, I was right. It was not true in any way. But it is, I think, a brilliant film. The effects are amazing. I think that's part of the reason. Yeah, we saw it in IMAX in the Science Museum. And as I mentioned actually about my brother's television, it looks incredible if you do have like a fancy state-of-the-art TV. In fact, actually, I wanted my husband to see it, and we went round to my brother's place to watch it because I said our TV won't do it justice. So yeah, it looks incredible. It's also the actors, Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, and Michael Caine. They're incredible in it. But yeah, if you like science fiction, this is a must. And I'm actually really fussy with long movies. I don't like it when it's too long. I start aching if I sit down too long, but this just went so quickly, you didn't realise it was actually quite a long film. Okay, so I'll read a bit of the back. From director Christopher Nolan comes the story of a team of pioneers undertaking the most important mission in human history. Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey stars as ex-pilot turned farmer Cooper, who must leave his family and live foundering Earth behind to lead an expedition travelling beyond the galaxy to discover whether mankind has a future among the stars. And it mentions obviously Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain as well. Yeah, one of my favourite films, and I would really recommend if you like that kind of sort of science fiction movie. I love a lot about space. There we go. Now, second one. Okay, I feel there might be a little bit of judgment here, but this is my all-time favourite film. And I'm aware of the issues with the film. I know a lot of people sort of take the mick of the script, and I know actually there was an issue about how the film presents whose fault it was, and I think that wasn't true, and there was like, I don't know if it was a legal issue behind it, but apology had to be made or something. So yeah, I'm aware maybe not everybody loves it, but I do. It's a film that I cry at every single time, even though I've seen it like 1,000 times. I think I'm one of those hopeless romantics that if you've got like a love interest where they're not meant to be together, but yeah, I find it all very emotional. And I mean, I know this sounds a bit of a strange thing to say, but I do quite like films set on boats and in water. I mean, obviously this was a disaster, and I always think we should be quite like sensitive about it, because it is like, these films are for entertainment, but also we have to remember, you know, the lives lost and that type of thing. So yeah, it's an upsetting film, but sort of important moment in history, isn't it, to remember? And obviously like Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio, very good in it. But yeah, definitely one of my favourite movies, and I do actually quite like the music for it as well. obviously I'm still trying not to give anything away, but I'll read the back. So, winner of 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and starring Academy Award nominee Renée Zellweger, Academy Award winner Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Academy Award nominee Queen Latifah, Golden Globe winner Richard Gere, and Academy Award nominee John C. Reilly. Chicago is a dazzling spectacle, cheered by audiences and critics alike. After their crimes of passion, nightclub sensation Velma Kelly, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and spotlight-seeking Roxy Hart, Renée Zellweger, both find themselves sharing Billy Flynn, Richard Gere, the town's slickest lawyer who turns defendants into legends. But in Chicago, there's only room for one legend. So yeah, if you like musicals, definitely give this one a go. Okay, so this next film is called Blood Diamond, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm going to be honest, this film actually made quite a big impact on me when my husband started talking about wedding rings before he proposed. I said I prefer more of a lab diamond, which is what this is. I know some people are against lab diamonds and they're not a fan, that's fair enough, but after watching this film I thought, yeah, it's so upsetting to think what goes into the diamond industry, so it's really emotional, I find, and acting's amazing, and it's just one of those things that I think when watching, I sit back and think sort of, how lucky I am not to be in certain situations that people are across the world, and yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch, but it's not something that I would advise if you want a happy film. I'd say, yeah, there's a sort of bit of some not very nice elements to it, but that we should be aware of. Yeah, if you look at the back, it says contains strong violence language. Yeah. But no, it's really worth the watch in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, on to the next one. So this is Trainwreck. It's got the comedian Amy Schumer. It's funny actually because I'm a massive fan of Amy Schumer's films. There's a few others that I've seen that I just find so funny, and same with this film, Trainwreck. It's probably one of the funniest films I've watched. However, I'm never usually sort of that much of a fan of her stand-up. I suppose stand-up's a different type of comedy, isn't it? But yeah, when it comes to her movies, I think, yeah, the scripts are brilliant, and also there's quite a good cast in this as well. I mean, LeBron's character is so funny. It's got Brie Larson as well, and yeah, honestly, I think it's actually maybe a type of comedy that's not for everybody. It's very like rude and crass, I'd say, and if maybe someone isn't a fan of that type of comedy, then I don't think it'd be for them, because I think, comedy is something quite personal. Not everyone finds the same things funny. I mean, there's loads of successful stand-up comedians I just don't find funny, and same with like my husband watches The Simpsons, and I know people are huge fans of it, but I've never, I might chuckle at a few bits, but yeah, I think this type of movie isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I really, really found it funny. I think in some ways, maybe I could be wrong here, it's in the eyes of the woman, so maybe, I don't know, women can empathise more with it or something, I don't know, because a lot of these types of rude comedies before this, I think, were a lot through the eyes of men, so yeah, maybe, I don't know, it might make some people prefer it and some people not prefer it. Yeah, it depends, but I mean, I read the synopsis. Since she was a little girl, Amy has been taught starting to fall for the subject of a new article she's writing, a charming and successful sports doctor, Bill Hader. Amy starts to wonder if other grown-ups, including this guy who really seems to like her, might be onto something. I think it's one of those stereotypical films where someone isn't into commitment and then as soon as they find the right person, suddenly they are. So, quite a common storyline, but yeah, I do find some very funny scenes in there. Okay, on to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So, this is the first one. I mean, to be honest, I like them all. I wouldn't say this one's my favourite one, but it's the one I had. Actually, this is the DVD, it's not even Blu-ray. I got this from my parents' house, actually, this one. I think my brother owns all the Blu-rays, and actually I've got a couple of them, I think, somewhere. But, yeah, I've come under the bracket of millennial, I think, in terms of my age group, so I remember the transition from videos to DVDs to Blu-rays to streaming, and I remember like the excitement of getting a Blu-ray that had the special features on as well. I think we had that with Titanic as well, but that was on video actually, so that was years ago. But yeah, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I do prefer the books more than the films, and I think a lot of people who are very, I don't know, into the books do have like issues where they miss out a lot in the films and they add in things that you think, well, that's not in the book and that type of thing. But I do think, even though with that kind of said, the films are so magical and I think the effects are great and most of the characters are done how I'd like them to be done. Not all of them obviously, but then it's personal preference, isn't it? And everyone's interpretations are different. But even things like the way Hogwarts looks, or the Hogwarts Express, or you know, the clothing, or I love the magical world. And yeah, I'm currently, because it's leading up to Christmas, starting to go through them all again. But yeah, this is the first one, and it's about the Philosopher's Stone. But yeah, if you've never seen Harry Potter, I would recommend it, but I would also recommend reading the books first, maybe. Okay, I'm very excited for the new TV series coming out. I hope they do stick to the book a lot though. Okay, this is on to my final one, which is Bridget Jones's Diary, The Edge of Reason. Oh yeah, actually sorry, it's just called Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason. There's a new one of these films coming out next year actually, I think. I think it's next year. This is the second one in the series. I do find all of them so funny. I do think though, sorry, even though I picked this one to include in the collection, I do think the first and the third, is Bridget Jones's Baby, I prefer to this second one, but I still do love this one. But yeah, I mean, there's some fantastic lines in it, and yeah, it's very funny. It's very British comedy, so it's a bit different to the Amy Schumer Trainwreck. I think American comedies and British comedies are slightly different in the humour. I mean, I find both funny, but yeah, this I think the Bridget Jones series is a very stereotypical love for my age group, but my husband never seen them and he watched them fairly recently because I said, oh no, you must see them, and I think he found them funny, but he wasn't that enthused. But I think some of the jokes come over a little bit dated now, particularly in the first film, but I suppose it's of its time, isn't it, you know. But yeah, I'll read a little bit at the back. So, having finally found the perfect man in gorgeous lawyer Mark Darcy, 30-something ex-singleton Bridget Jones, played by Renée Zellweger, is now faced with the even bigger challenge of keeping him. When her self-doubts return and her womanizing ex-lover Daniel Cleaver, who's played by Hugh Grant, reappears uninvited, Bridget gets entangled in a comic mix of bad advice, miscarriages, is. Hopefully this has been relaxing and enjoyable